Today, we're skipping past just, memorizing stuff. We're digging into a cognitive strategy called self-explanation. Some call it the secret sauce for turning fragile memory into knowledge that actually sticks.
Exactly.
Our mission, really, is just to unpack the science text box you'll find on the platform, the one focused specifically on self-explanation. We want to understand why it works and, crucially, how the platform automates it.
Yeah, and this is important because, let's face it, most of us think we understand something just because we recognize it.
Like on a multiple choice test.
Precisely. But self-explanation, the research heavily influenced by McLean-Shee, it demands more. It forces you to stop, to pause, and actively ask yourself a couple of really diagnostic questions.
Okay, and those questions, right from the source text are, what does this mean in my own words? And how does this connect to what I already know? Simple questions, but maybe not so simple to answer.
Well, they sound simple, but the power is in the act of answering them. It's not passive. You have to actively retrieve information, synthesize it, put it into your own framework.
Okay, so it's not just recalling a definition.
Not at all. It's about integration. That connection piece, how does this connect to what I already know?
Yeah.
That's where you're weaving new information into your existing mental structures.
Right. The text mentions this forces you to identify gaps in your understanding and repair your mental model. Can you unpack that a bit? What does repairing a mental model actually mean here?
Think of your understanding like maybe a poorly built bridge. It has weak spots, missing links. Self-explanation is like sending an engineer that's you to inspect it.
Yeah.
When you try to explain something in your own words or connect it to something else, you immediately hit those weak spots. Oh, wait, I don't actually know how that part works.
So the act of explaining reveals the gap.
Exactly. And then, crucially, you're prompted to fix it, to find the information, rethink it, and strengthen that part of the bridge. That's the repair process. It's active construction of understanding.
Which sounds, frankly, like hard work. It requires effort, mental energy.
It absolutely does. It's cognitively demanding. And that's probably why we tend to avoid it if left to our own devices. We prefer the path of least resistance, which is often just passive reading or listening.
So this is where the platform comes in. The text box says it automates this process. How does software automate mental effort?
It doesn't automate the thinking itself, obviously, but it automates the prompting. It structures the learning environment so you have to engage in that effort.
Okay. It forces the issue.
Right. The text mentions it constantly prompts you, and these aren't just simple prompts. It asks you to explain concepts, justify your reasoning.
And the one that really stood out to me was teach the idea to a simulated novice. That sounds like a step beyond just explaining for yourself.
Oh, it is. Teaching is one of the most powerful ways to learn. To teach something well, you have to understand it deeply.
You need to anticipate questions, simplify complex ideas.
Exactly. You have to structure the knowledge logically, find analogies, pinpoint the core concepts. Trying to explain it to a novice forces you to achieve a much higher level of clarity and organization in your own mind. The platform simulating that forces that deeper processing.
So these aren't just check-in questions. They are high-friction tasks designed to build what the text calls a robust and accurate understanding.
That's the goal. Robust means it's well-connected, flexible, not easily forgotten. Accurate means it, correctly reflects the concept. It's about moving beyond just knowing the steps of a procedure.
Right. The text specifically contrasts this with just memorizing steps. It emphasizes understanding the why.
Fundamentally, yes. You could memorize the steps to solve a math problem, but without self-explanation, you might not understand why those steps work or when to apply a different method. That why is the core of true comprehension.
Okay, so the big takeaway here seems to be that active processing, prompted by strategies like self-explanation, is essential. It's how you move from fragile recall to durable, usable knowledge. You have to constantly check for and fill those gaps.
Precisely. It's about making learning an active, constructive process, not a passive intake. And just a note for you listening, if you want to explore the deeper research behind this, like McLean-Shee's work, you can usually find links to more scientific resources near the text box on the platform or sometimes in the main menu.
Good point. So to wrap up, maybe a final thought for you to consider.
What does it mean for your own learning if the very process is designed intentionally to constantly expose every single hidden gap in your understanding? Something to think about.